let me know if you can see me. Let's see. Just gonna be waiting. Ah, I think it's probably good. Let me see. I think there's maybe a little bit of a delay. Hey there, guys. How's it going? Make sure that you guys can see me all right. Looks like it. I might make my thing a little bit there. Hey, how's it going? I am so excited. Let's get this thing started. Um, Guys, already starting off, hit me with questions. I think I got maybe around anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour. I'm super buzzing right now. It's rare for me. I did not sleep well, but I'm just super excited. Kickstarter is in, what, 4 days now? And I have the whole team has been cranking away trying to get everything squared off, and it's looking really good, and it's super exciting. And bonjour, hello everyone, hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing? You get Yeah, hit me with your questions. Let's go. Uh, okay. Okay, so questions are coming in, and I'm gonna start reading that as we go. Um, Alexa, stop. Sorry about that, and sorry if it triggers any of your devices. Um, okay, cool. So, what are the different tiers? So we have, I think, around 8 different tiers. We're going to be revealing them tomorrow. Um, but yeah, there's some really, really just amazing stuff that we've been working on for the last 3 years, but specifically in the last 6 months. Cool bonuses and just amazing stuff that's going to be in the different tiers. But let's get into it. So. Um, let's see. Shmuel asks, what app features can we use for the language that aren't available on the app yet? Would it just be flashcard system or are there more? So, as you guys may know, we are planning on launching initially with Spanish and French, and then depending on how the Kickstarter goes, we have stretch goals to add in additional languages, and we predict that we should hit hopefully that we should hit a lot of our stretch goals and add in a lot of the languages that you guys are wanting, whether it be Japanese or German or Korean, etc., etc. But there's always smaller languages out there or languages that might not be as requested, and people are probably be curious. And I see it right now that if my language doesn't have full support, will I still be able to use Fluyo? And that's some of the thing. That's one of the things that's super important to us. The answer is yes. It obviously depends on the language, but aside from the core languages that we want to support at the beginning, we do want to have at least basic support, which would be our flashcard system, because even that by itself could be its own app. Our flashcard system and our social messaging system, slash our group chats. So those two key features would be there. And then obviously, as we're able to add more support, then we'd be able to add the amount of features. We'd be able to add the normal journey or like story mode. That we'll be able to add mini games to kind of lesser supported languages. But hopefully that answers your questions. Which Soda Fracca asks, which has been the hardest language to implement into the app? Um, like I said, we only have Spanish and French right now, so they're both all right. We did experiment with Chinese for a demo, and that was a bit tricky. So definitely when we start integrating the Asian languages in there, I think it's going to be a bit tricky, but we shall see. And we'll be able to figure it out. But so far we've only had slightly easier languages. Let's see. Um, I scrolled all the way down. Let's see. Why is Fluyo a dolphin? So So Fluyo, technically, that's not the name of the dolphin. It's not necessarily like a mascot name. It's basically the name of the world that we have, or the name of the app in general. But we went with the kind of aquatic theme, and we went with the dolphin as our mascot, or as the avatar that people will use, for the reason that the dolphins are, I believe, one of the most intelligent animals, and on top of that, they have the best memory in the animal kingdom, and on top of that, they speak their own languages with different dialects. Which I thought which is fascinating, and also because, if we go with the dolphin as the main character, then at least it allows the world to be a bit more aquatic and interesting, as opposed to, for example, if we go with an elephant, which also has great memory, then we'd have like a jungle app, which would, I mean, I think it could be done well, but I feel like, under the sea is a little bit more uh, magical. Let's see. Will there be support for importing Enki decks in beta and alpha already? I'm not entirely sure. That's not something that we've gone around to. We definitely want to have that for full launch, but I think it remains to be seen. I think it depends on what our engineering team, what their priorities are. But it would be nice. In general, I would love Anki importing um, capabilities for basically all of our languages, but probably by full launch, I would assume. Let me just see all the questions. Um, so Anna Burasa, I hope I pronounced that right, asks, how long will it be between languages between sorry be it between languages being uploaded to the app? So that's also very tricky. It depends. I mean, there's been some kind of technology. How can I say it? Technology kind of breakthroughs lately, or technological breakthroughs lately that might make that quicker. But in general, I mean, I think to be able to add in a new language, we probably would need to hire roughly between 3 to 5 people for the course of 3 to 5 months. Normally, that could be sped up depending on kind of recent breakthroughs, but I would kind of assume each language would take that long. That's for full support. If we're just talking about adding words, adding example sentences for those words, adding little mnemonics to be able to help people remember those words, and then people being able to fight creatures, but not like really explaining the grammar or anything like that. It could be done quicker, but sometime within that time frame. Um, let's see. Are y'all hiring? Not at the moment, but depending on how the Kickstarter goes tomorrow, perhaps. Let's see. What pricing model does your app follow? So currently, it's planned to be monthly subscription. Um, we want to price it reasonable, so it's not going to be particularly expensive. It should be on the lower side of most language learning apps, especially like the premium ones, like cheaper than Babbel, etc. Um, that being said, it's something that we've kind of thought about deeply, and we want it to be as fair as possible. So one of the things that we probably will be doing is having regional kind of pay scaling, or I guess subscription, meaning if you are in a country where paying, let's call it $10 a month or $8 a month is the equivalent of an American spending $100 a month, and obviously we'd have to adjust how much you would pay so it'd be affordable for people in any and every country. So that's something that's very important to us. Currently, at this point, it's not something that we can do to offer it for free, because me personally, I put all of my money into it. I'm like a few months away from being broke, and we definitely need the money to be able to add new languages and just to build out the app to what it can be. But hopefully that answers your question. Let me see. Um, have you guys? Uh, Will the app be a good way to start from no experience with the language? So, yes, that is something that's super important to us. We don't want it to be the case where you come to the app and you are, like, you're not really a beginner, but you're not like super intermediate and you don't know where you're placed. And then we just place you in a level that's too hard for you or too easy for you. We want it to essentially adjust to your level. So we have certain ways to do that. And for beginners, complete beginners, yes, definitely. That is pretty much that would definitely be our bread and butter. But we also have, I would say at the moment, we're really focused on uh, anyone between the A1 to B2 range, or anyone from like complete beginner to intermediate, upper intermediate. After that, um, we don't necessarily have the content for that at the moment, but we do plan on adding it. And even though we don't have the content, we do also have really cool features that are kind of it doesn't really necessarily matter how advanced you are. So, for example, we have flashcards that, in my opinion, are better than Anki. So you can use that whether you're super advanced or you're complete beginner. In addition to that, um, we also have social features, and one of the coolest things about social features is we have these kind of group chats that are called pod chats, which is essentially you and a bunch of other learners. You're in a group chat together, and you can practice a language. You can correct each other and stuff like that. We also have target language only group chats as well. So you have like beginner group chats, which is like, you can speak, let's say you're learning Spanish, you can speak Spanish in there, you can speak English in there for explanations, whatever. Whereas the Spanish only, for example, variant of that, or the Spanish only group chat is like more for advanced people. So we do have kind of content that fits the range of spectrums, but we definitely plan to add more advanced content later. Let's see. Mr. Salas says, I'm concerned, man. You say that after a few months of using it, you learn 2,000 words and speak the language properly, watch TV without subtitles. So I would say learn 2,000 words, yes. Speak the language properly. I mean, speaking is a skill that you can really only hone through speaking. So we want to give you the resources to be able to, and the grammatical knowledge to be able to structure your sentences correctly. Uh, as to whether or not you speak properly, I mean, there's languages that I've studied for years, and I mean, maybe I'm hard on myself. I'm not sure if exactly I speak it 100% properly, but definitely giving everyone the resources or the grammatical knowledge for the foundation of the language of, okay, you know, I can learn the most common 1,000 to 2,000 words, and then using those words, I can formulate almost any sentence that I would like. That is essentially what we hope to do. Um, um, I Another thing on that as well. To the 2,000 words, it sounds like normally, right? If I'm trying to learn 1,000 words or 2,000 of the most common, let's call it 1,000 words. So if I'm trying to learn 1,000 of the most common words in any given language, let's say it's Spanish or Japanese or Chinese, that would take me months, probably years, unless I have like a certain level of dedication that a lot of language learners don't have. However, one of the things that's magical with Fluyo is we've managed to create the essentially create a system where the learning of words and the reviewing of those words is as fun as playing a video game. And I mean, it one of the reasons why I wanted to go with this gaming approach is because when I was a kid, I used to spend 10 hours a day playing World of Warcraft. And I knew that if I could create an app, or if we could create an app where people could, that was almost even a fraction as fun of that. So instead of, spending 10 hours a day playing WoW, you're spending an hour or 2 hours learning words, and you're learning words in an effective way, in a way where it includes the context in which you learn the words, and you're reviewing those words in a very fun gaming way. Like, that's a magical experience. So, for example, um, let's see, the other day, when I was playing my co-founder, I think we played some mini games for maybe around an hour, and like In that time, we probably reviewed, and it's different from learning, but our learning also happens quickly, but we probably reviewed maybe 500 to 600 words through playing mini games, and it registered in our brain as fun. This was not like reviewing 600 words through Anki. This was, I'm going to beat you. Oh shit, you beat me. Okay, let's play again. Let's play again. Let's play again. Let's play again. And the magic of that, I mean, it's I mean, yeah, you'll have to wait and see, but it's something really special. Let's see. Um, is there any AI? Not yet. um, Is there a plan to integrate it with ChatGPT for human-like conversation and dynamic correction? Not yet, but I mean, we're always looking at something. We're always, I'm always looking at new technological like breakthroughs. It's been this last like 3 weeks for AI has been crazy. So it's definitely on my radar. But nothing concrete yet. Right now, we're just focusing on can we get the funding for this app so so I don't go broke and we can actually like fully build it to the level that it needs to be. Because, like I said before, I've the last 3 years, basically every single money, every single dollar that I've made through YouTube, whether that's selling courses, whether that's YouTube ads, I've essentially put it into this business and into this app. And I personally think it will be worth it because what we've created is something that is. I mean, literally, when it comes to people creating stuff, right? Sometimes there's times where people, they're thinking, oh, that could be a good business. You have like four businessmen that sit around a table. They're like, huh, that could be a good business. We can make a lot of money with this, and. But for me, Fluyo has always been such a passion project because it came from internally. It came from what do I need as a language learner that is going to help me the most? And what I thought was, okay, if I can have a language learning app that's actually fun to use, I'm not talking about, no shade, but like Duolingo or anything lesser on the fun scale than that. Like I'm talking because for me, Duolingo kind of registers like as an educational fun game. I'm not sure if you guys know the games where like you have to answer like what is 2 plus 2, and as you put in four, and then like you like answer with like a basketball or something like this. Like an educational game doesn't really register as fun to me. My thinking was like if I could have a game that's super fun, right, and it teaches me most common words in a language and it teaches me the most useful grammar in that language, then that would be amazing. And that was my initial reasoning for building it. And on top of that, my initial reasoning was as a YouTuber, I'm always recommending a lot of people a ton of different resources. Someone asked me, how do I learn Korean? How to learn French? How to learn Spanish? I'm like, well, you want to use this app, and this app, and then you want to use Anki for flashcards and HelloTalk for exchanges, and you want to use this and this and this and this. And eventually, at one point, I just got frustrated. I was like, if it was all in one place, that would be perfect. And that's essentially the creation story of Fluyo. So sorry, I kind of went on a little ramble rant, but I don't know where where what that last question was, but yeah. Let me see. Uh, what equipment can my dolphin use? Your dolphin can be decked out in the coolest gear, the coolest items. It is crazy. So I think we have like 9 different slots in your dolphin. You can customize its skin. You can customize its what it wears on its head, what it wears on its forehead, what it wears on glasses. Like, sorry, what it wears on its snout, nose. I don't know what a dolphin nose is called. Um, uh, let's see. I'm forgetting something. You can uh, you can adjust or you can change up the companion that like hovers around your dolphin. Uh, and I'm sure oh, and weapons, of course, just for the sake of it. I don't think your dolphin's not. At least we don't haven't created any animations of your dolphin like swinging an axe to like hit something, but that might actually be in the future. But so they're kind of just more based on cosmetics, but it does make your dolphin look really nice. Mr. Salas asks, "Can I be in your raiding party for Fluya?" Hell yeah, man! I mean, one of the coolest things that we also want to do is like, this is I don't want to be the guy that goes, "Oh, we can do this cool thing, and then we can do this cool thing, and we can do this cool thing." This is kind of why my CTO is always like trying to keep up with me with all my different ideas. But one of the cool things that we definitely want to do in the future is if people are in pods, which are essentially um, groups of learners, right? We also want to have competitive pods, so competitive groups where me and my 10 people that are in my pod can compete against 10 other people in another rival pod. I don't think we don't we already have a bunch of mini games, so maybe it's like one member versus another member in that group, and whoever does best on average wins. I don't know, but that's one of the cool things that we really want to do in the future. You jest, but perhaps. um, let's see. Um, okay. Will there be a lifetime purchase option? Yes, there's going to be on the Kickstarter. Maybe not on the app when it's out. So the Kickstarter is probably going to be the only time where you can actually get lifetime access. So definitely look out for that. Um, Are you adding to add more content once in a while with updates? Yes, yes, 100%. I mean, the thing is, you know, language learning apps in general, these are not things that you can just kind of put out and leave. You have to be able to constantly update them with new stuff. And for us, if you guys want to look at something, if you guys want to look at something pretty actually inspiring, to be fair, you can Google Duolingo 2012 or Duolingo 2013 and see what their app looked like 10 years ago when they first started, because it is nothing like what it is today, because they constantly iterated, made it better, and made it better, made it better. Even though Fluyo, I feel like we're starting at a wicked place. Like, already starting. I mean, we've been working on it for 3 years, so it's not like we just started. But like, already when we're launching, it's you know, it's going to be really, really cool. But I can only imagine how cool it's going to be. I'll say in 5 years' time. Um, let me see. So Kickstarter tier prices, you guys are going to be able to see on Kickstarter day. I'll say the starting one. The starting one is around in 30s. I believe it's $39, but we're still experimenting with that. That comes with, I think, 3 months subscription of the app when it's out, and then 6 months of beta access and a bunch of digital goodies. I think that's where our starting price is going to be. We modeled that off of. There's a few language learning apps that have modeled that have gone on Kickstarter before. That's kind of where the starting price is. But there might be early bird specials that are a little bit discounted versions of that. But it remains to be seen. We're still trying to sort it out. But that's going to be the starting point, and everything above that uh, is going to be super tantalizing. But you're going to have to wait for Kickstarter to be able to see the higher tiers. How effective from a non-biased perspective will this app be? Okay, let me try to get non-biased. I mean, one thing that I do want to make clear is, is it's not an app that no matter no matter how good an app is, you're going to need multiple things. So, even if Fluyo was the perfect app and it could get you, you know, knowing 10,000 words and having perfect grammar and speaking amazing, and like, even if that was the case, you would still need Netflix, you would still need YouTube, you would still need talking to actual people. There's no one app that's going to completely take you from zero to like native level in general. However, in terms of effectiveness, I can tell you what we want to do. We want someone to come onto the app, and within 3 to 4 months, maybe six, up to 6 months, depending on how much they use the app. Essentially, for them to know the most common 1,000 to 2,000 words in a language, ideally 2,000. 2,000. If they know the most common 2,000 words in a language, then that means they know 80. Depends on the language, but roughly 80% of what they hear in conversations, they will know the words for. On top of that, we want people to know all of the basic grammar and underlying structure of the language so they're able to form essentially almost any sentence that they want. If we are able to hit these two goals well, even if our app doesn't do anything else except serve as like a flashcard program or a way to review your words, I think we've won. Because to get someone to that level, it takes a lot of effort. And once someone's at that level, they can do what they want to do with that language. If you know 80% of what you're hearing from conversations, or let's say 2,000 of the most common words, and you know a good chunk of the grammar, you can watch Netflix TV shows, and every time you notice a word you don't know, you put it in, and you slowly grow your vocabulary. You can switch to a different language. I mean, when you're at that point, language learning really becomes fun because you can talk to people, you can consume media, sometimes without subtitles, sometimes with target language subtitles. But if we're actually able to get people to that point, I mean, that's the goal. So, yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Uh, let's see. If the Kickstarter goal doesn't get reached, will you release the game anyway? So I think our goal for Kickstarter is going to be probably around $250,000. I'm fairly confident with the email list and the this YouTube channel that we be able to hit that. If we don't, I will cry. I don't know. I think I have bigger problems than trying to. I mean, I still think when there is a will, there's a way. We could look at funding from other sources. So I would say yes, even if we don't hit that 250,000, even if it's like we only raise 100,000. I mean, the problem with Kickstarter is if you don't hit the goal, you don't raise any money. So we're gonna try to hit the goal. I think we can. If not, if we don't have anything, then I mean, that would be really devastating. But when there's a will, there's a way. So I think we'd still be able to figure something out. It just would take longer. Yeah, Andrew Hammond says Fluyo Army will make it happen. Hell yes. Um, if you reach the Kickstarter goal, how long will it take to be released? So it depends on how much we raise, but I would say um, full release ideally by early next year, or even winter this year. Um, Alpha access maybe 2 months after Kickstarter ends, beta access maybe 3 months after Kickstarter ends, depending on how long it takes to add new languages. I would say that's probably a fair rough estimate. We might do something quicker for languages that we already have support for, but to be fair, both game development and making quality language learning content takes time, and when you combine the both, it does take quite a bit of time. But I would think that would be a reasonable amount of time. Can I play offline? At the moment, no, but in the future, yes, especially for I think solo player games. I think we might have that capability, but I can't. I'm not 100% sure. Depends on uh, what the engineers can do. Um, but we would love to have offline capability. I think any good app should have that, but it depends on how everything is coded. Me, I'm not an engineer, so I won't speak on behalf of my co-founder. Um, would it be possible? Wait, hold on. Oh, there's questions coming in fast. Okay, let's see. Um, uh, sorry, I'm just gonna go through some questions. Try to see. During your journey in developing Fluyo, what was the most significant challenge you've encountered? Honestly, just my health. My health is still the biggest problem, and I'm really looking forward to after the Kickstarter to being able to focus more on my health and less on forcing myself to do YouTube videos because I'm going broke and Fluyo's running out of money, kind of thing. Um, but I mean, I love making YouTube videos, and yeah, don't get me wrong, I love you making YouTube videos, and I over the last 3 to 4 months, I've really made videos that I'm very proud of. But with my health, it's just like I get like 25% of the amount of like productive hours as a normal person. So um, I would say my health is the biggest challenge when it comes to building Fluyo. Honestly, yes, innovating, yes, creating something that is we hope to be 5 times or 10 times more fun than any other language learning app out there. That's challenging, but it's a fun challenge. It's almost like a video game building Fluyo, if that makes sense in like a meta way. Like so, it's never been hard for me. What's hard is running out of money and like being seriously ill to the point where I can't function every other day. It's been actually a little bit better lately. I would say every 3 days, maybe I don't function well. But yeah. Uh, How long will you be live? I'll probably be live for another 15 minutes. My body is starting to reach its limit. I can feel it, but I love this, so it's really cool. Um, will you be able to do voice chat with people in the pods or otherwise? At the moment, no, but I feel like that. I feel like we can easily add that in if it's a requested feature. Um, Thank you, Mishi. Let's see. Are the flashcards? Hold on. Dovey asks, "Is there a way to donate money to you via cryptocurrencies?" At the moment, no. I'm not sure if Kickstarter accepts it though. They might. Um, if you don't mind me asking, is there a version of reality where you can live a normal, healthy life again? Yes, but it's going to take some experimental kind of treatments and some kind of cutting edge technology. Well, not technology, but like certain countries are doing some really interesting stuff with people with my condition, and it looks really promising. But that's as much as I probably will will go into that subject. If we invited 50 people, when will we get confirmation regarding the alpha access? Is there still any personal benefits for backing the Kickstarter? Yeah. So if the Kickstarter is going to have, I mean, you guys have to wait until Kickstarter day, but it's going to have a ton of different tiers, and the tiers are chock full of really amazing stuff, even stuff that people who've referred 50 people to sign up uh, will not get. So yes, and um, when will you get confirmation regarding alpha access? Whenever alpha is ready, we will take a look at anyone who's unlocked that tier, and we will email you. Lumiere asks, "How about the grammar? Does this app explain grammar?" Um, so at the moment, we've essentially for the last 3 years we focused mainly on vocab and reviewing vocab and teaching vocab in context, which tackles grammar a bit. Um, Post Kickstarter and pretty much between the time Kickstarter ends and the time alpha slash beta is released, we're going to be focusing hard on grammar. So eventually, by full launch, yes, we will have uh, a very innovative way of teaching grammar that doesn't make you want to rip your hair out and is actually entertaining and as fun as grammar can be. Yes. When will the giveaway winners be announced? I think we might do that the day before Kickstarter, most likely a few days into Kickstarter. Let me see. What if we don't have? So what if we don't have the language that we're learning in the app? Can we use it too? Yes. Um, you should be able. We should have. Essentially, we should have a way for you to be able to use the app just through flashcards and social features that is kind of language agnostic. Yeah. Um, is there going to be a leaderboard system? Yes, we might not call it leaderboards, but there's going to be an equivalent kind of competitive system. What aspect, Goldfish Boy? 1337 asks, "What aspect of Fluyo are you the most excited to use yourself?" Mm, so I've been learning a language secretly. I won't tell you what it is, but after Igbo, I started learning a new language. And if you ask me, okay, for this new language, what I'm the most excited about, honestly, it's just through our main vocab learning mode. Because right now, if I want to learn the most, the most common or useful words in a language, I have to go either through like an Anki deck, or I have to go through like a list of words, or I just can't, like, you know. But once Fluyo is here, I'll be able to go through Fluyo, go through the journey, battle creatures, play the mini games against my friend. Honestly, screw the, you know what? I would probably say the mini games, because I've had some mini game battles against online against my co-founder. I mean, the journey mode is really cool, but it is kind of like story mode. Story mode is like one player. The mini games are fun. They're really really fun. Like I don't know if it comes across in the last video that I put out, but it's like you lose and you've learned words and you want to play again. You win and you've learned words and you want to play again. And it's like, when you're versing your friend, maybe versing people a random online might be a little bit less intense, but when you're versing your friend and your friend just thinks his Spanish is a little bit better than yours, and you're like, it is super super fun. So for the language that I'm learning, I would love to just play mini games all day, and learn new words and practice the words. Um, Let me see. So I'm gonna maybe do maybe 3 to 4 more questions before I crash. Let me see. Maybe a little bit more. We'll see. Uh, Let me see. What additional games, mini games are you planning on adding? At the moment, we have one more mini game in, which is really cool. And then, depending on how much money we raise on Kickstarter, we will be adding more mini games, and those ones, honestly, probably will look a lot. Two of the mini games that we created came from suggestions from you guys, so we probably will look to the community again to create more suggestions, because the stuff that you guys come up with is it's entertaining. I mean, it takes a bit of work to be able to like get like 10,000 ideas for mini games and like whittle it down to the 2 or 3 best ones. But you guys are amazing with ideas. So whatever future mini games that we're gonna do, they're gonna be intense. Let me see. Uh, what are If you had to have 3 languages on Fluya, what would they be? Well, already we're going to be launching with Spanish and French, and our first stretch goal after that is Japanese. I know those are the 3. Basically, we did a survey. Those are the 3 most popular, at least from my audience. Those are the 3 most popular languages that people are looking forward to. After that, I think we have a stretch goal for German, Korean, Chinese, I believe another language, and then our final stretch goal is just like advanced support for like 10 plus languages. But obviously, it will take a good amount of time to implement. But yeah, uh, let me see. Japanese, hell yeah, hell yeah. When it comes out, do we just head? So when the Kickstarter goes live, you just go to the Kickstarter page. If you're signed up to the website email list, which I'm pretty sure most people are, but if you sign up at fluyoapp.com, to the email list, we will notify you the second the Kickstarter drops. Yeah, I know. So for example, our last final stretch goal is like advanced support for like 10 plus languages, and the additional languages we've been looking at is like, Italian, Arabic, Portuguese. Like we don't worry, we will deliver at least on the most popular languages at first, and then little by little over the years, adding in other languages that are less common. Yes, native speakers will be assisting in development. Hey, I really appreciate that, Andrew. Will there be a free side to Fluyo? At the moment, no, just because we really need the funds to be able to fund the app, to add in more languages, to develop out our features. I mean, never say never, but at the moment, it's not in our plans. But what we want to do is we want to do a reasonable kind of like price shifting thing. So, for example, if someone is in India and the average income there is much less than, for example, like Norway, then the person over there would pay less, would pay essentially a rate or a monthly subscription that is reasonable for them to pay. So they're not paying like the equivalent of $100 a month. They're paying the equivalent of, maybe $1 or $2 a month, whereas someone in the US would pay maybe, we still haven't worked at the exact monthly prices, but maybe $8 or something reasonable. Essentially, pricing wise, we want to be we want to be premium, but at the same time we want to be reasonable, because I mean, I don't think there's a reason not to be. We need to. It's not even we want to. We need to be premium because we need to be able to fund the app. And for me not to go homeless. um, but at the same time, like, why not be reasonable? If someone's in a country where the average salary, as opposed to like, you know, I don't know, $4,000 a month is $400 a month, then let's adjust that. Let's make it reasonable and let's make it fair. Um, Is there going to be, like, when you get to a high enough level that you speak with natives or people who speak the language? Yeah, I feel like I saw a comment like that, like saying like it'd be cool, like once you get to a high enough level, then you're paired up with natives. Um, that honestly, that is a fascinating concept. I'm assuming like what we will do for pod chats in the future is, like, let's say if we have, hey, learn English from Japanese, and there's a bunch of Japanese people, or sorry, yeah, essentially Japanese people learning English through Fluyo. It would be amazing to try to, like, for every English based pod that is learning Japanese, like try to like intermingle and like throw in a few English native speakers here, throw in a few Japanese native speakers there. Definitely, but that's a little bit longer term. Uh, Need any additions to the marketing team? We might, depending on how Tuesday goes. We definitely might. Um, Let me see. I probably got three more questions left in me. So let me see. This is not a no. I won't count this one. But Hair Dumb says, "How are your servers going to handle all the traffic?" That's a question for my CTO. If we have that problem, that's a very good problem to have. But I think we probably will use a server provider from a big company, so we shouldn't have to worry about that in general. But if anyone has to worry about that, that's my CTO. He's my co-founder. He's the technical guy, but he's a genius, so he'll figure it out. A says, "I'll be promoting the hell out of this when the Kickstarter starts." Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Will we have to pay on Tuesday? So how Kickstarter works, super important. How Kickstarter works is that you don't pay right away. So if you make a pledge, basically it's called a pledge because you're pledging money. You're saying, hey, if the Kickstarter campaign is successful, whenever it ends, I will pay this amount to receive this thing. So let's say Tuesday, March 28th comes. You're like, oh wow, I really like this tier. Okay, let me pledge $50. Basically, if our Kickstarter campaign is successful, then in 30 days time, whenever the Kickstarter ends, then that's when you will get charged. You don't get charged right away. So theoretically, you can go and pledge $1 million, but you're not going to get charged till like 30 days later. So realistically, like if you're like, okay, let me pledge $40, um, like yeah, you don't have to worry about that until the end of the Kickstarter. Only if we have a successful Kickstarter. If we don't have a successful Kickstarter, one, that would suck, but two, then no one gets charged. I know. I wish, Andrew. That would be cool. What happens after the Kickstarter is we use the funds to start adding all the languages. We really polish up the app to get it ready for people, for the first wave of alpha users. Well, the first wave of alpha users come in sometime midsummer, maybe a few months after our Kickstarter campaign ends. Then the alpha users test it out. We get some feedback, we tweak some things. The beta users will then be let in. They'll use it. We'll tweak a lot of things, and then probably after maybe a few months of beta, maybe a few months to around 6 months of beta, we will fully launch to the entire world with however many languages that we can squeeze in from now till whenever full launch is. Two more questions. Let's see. Uh, No, so frequent. So if you back the Kickstarter, you basically will get complete beta access or alpha access, depending on the tier that you back. For like, it comes with whatever you back on Kickstarter. So if you choose to back $40 on Kickstarter, you get beta access for the however long beta access is. If our beta lasts a year, you have it's basically you can use it complimentary for the entire time. And it's really important to know that our Kickstarter one is only going to last 30 days, so there's only going to be this option to be able to kind of essentially reserve alpha or beta access and back us to be able to get it for those 30 days. But two, the full app might not release until early 2024 or winter of this year. So if you get beta access, and let's say you get beta access and you start using it in the summer, then you're literally going to be using the app for potentially anywhere between 4 to maybe even 6 or 8 months before anyone else will be able to use it, which would be cool. I'm curious if beta keys will go on like eBay and stuff like this, but it'll be interesting. One more. I'll do two more questions. Inger Juni asks, how many tiers will it be? There's going to be 8 different tiers, um, starting with, I think, a $39 tier, which gets you 3 months subscription to the full app when it comes out, and around 6 months of beta access and a bunch of really cool digital rewards. That's the first tier, and then it kind of goes up from there. And the other tiers, I mean, it's just more and more goodies. We have merchandise. We've got like plushie. Yeah. So we've got really cool stuff. Okay, last question. Let's do this. Um, let's see. Let's make this last question count. Let me see. The most important question. Okay, I'll do these two questions. So Lenoir asks, "What is the most important question?" Sorry, he asks, "Which languages will be available in the alpha and beta?" Spanish definitely, French definitely, Japanese hopefully, German hopefully, Korean maybe. But then we can also, I'm talking about for full support. For light support, I'm sure we can add in, a dozen languages that have flashcard support and like social features support. But yeah. And last question is, let me see. is subscription the only way to pay for it? Can I just buy access to like a one-time payment? So during the Kickstarter is going to be the only time when people can at one time buy lifetime access. So look for that option on the Kickstarter. But the Kickstarter, guys, launches on March 28th in 4 days. Definitely be there, be there, be there. We've got a crazy email waiting list. We've got like over 140,000 people, or close to 140,000 people on the wait list. We've got, people that are going to be talking about Fluyo. I'm going to be making a video. It's going to be a party day. I might be live streaming as well. I hope it's going to be a party day. It's not going to be a depressing day, but um, I'm going to be live streaming, I think, on that day as well, so long as I'm not wiped out. And let's go. Let's do this. Please help us make our dream of making language learning truly fun come true. I really appreciate everyone who's taken the time to be here for the stream and everyone who's going to watch it afterwards. And for everything else, for how the Kickstarter, sorry, for how the app looks like, for what the actual in-game looks like, for the amazing epic cinematic trailer that we've been working on for the last 3 months that you guys are going to see. All of that you guys are going to be seeing on Tuesday, March 28th at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and 5 p.m. Central European time. Be there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And it's coming. All right. Take care, guys, and I will see you next time. All right. Peace out.